Your brain has been tricking you your entire life, not out of malice. More like it's doing its best. And its best involves a lot of shortcuts, rewrites, and quiet little edits you never approved. And psychology has actually confirmed some of these, 10 of them specifically, and they all sound made up. Let's get into it. 1. Your brain can create real pain with no injury at all. Not exaggerated pain. Not imagined pain in the way people mean when they say it's all in your head. Actual, physical, measurable pain, with nothing physically wrong. This happens because pain isn't a signal that travels from your body to your brain. Pain is your brain. Your brain decides, based on context and past experience and a dozen other things, whether pain is the right response to a situation. And sometimes it gets it wrong. Sometimes it fires the pain response when there's no damage at all. Chronic pain researchers call this a sensitized nervous system. The alarm keeps going off even when there's no fire. And here's the part that really makes you think. The pain is completely real. It just has no physical source. 2. Every time you remember something, you change it. Memory feels like a recording. You open the file, you watch the clip, you close it again. But that's not how it works. Every time you recall a memory, you're actually reconstructing it. And during that reconstruction, it becomes vulnerable to change. New feelings bleed in. Details shift. Things you learned after the event quietly get inserted. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus spent decades proving this. In one famous study, she got people to clearly remember a car crash that never happened, just by asking the question a certain way. Your most vivid memories have been rewritten so many times you may not even notice. They feel like the original file. They're not. 3. Loneliness is physically painful and physically dangerous. We treat loneliness like an emotion, a feeling to push through or fix with a phone call. But research shows it does something more concrete than that. Chronic loneliness raises cortisol levels, disrupts sleep, weakens the immune system, and increases the risk of early death by around 26%, which puts it roughly in the same category as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Evolutionary psychologists think this makes sense. For most of human history, being separated from the group wasn't just unpleasant, it was a threat to survival. So your brain learned to treat it like one, and the research backs it up. Being chronically lonely isn't just hard emotionally, it is genuinely, measurably harming your body. 4. You have a second brain, in your gut. Your digestive system has its own nervous system. About 500 million neurons, all running independently from your brain. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it doesn't just manage digestion, it monitors acidity, detects bacteria in the food you eat, regulates your immune response, and produces about 95% of the serotonin in your entire body. That's the chemical most associated with mood and well-being. And the vast majority of it comes from your gut, not your head. And here's the part that actually explains something. Around 90% of the signals between your gut and brain travel upward, from the gut to the brain. So when people started using the phrase gut feeling to describe instinct, they were more right than they knew. It turns out the expression came from the literal sensation of the gut sending signals upward, and science eventually caught up to explain why. 5. Your mind can wander for a third of your waking life without you noticing. Studies using random sampling have found that people are thinking about something other than what they're currently doing about 47% of the time, nearly half. And in most cases, they don't realize it's happening until they surface. You're reading, but you're not reading. You're driving, but your mind left 10 minutes ago. The strange part is that a wandering mind tends to make people less happy in the moment, regardless of what they're wandering to, even pleasant thoughts. Being mentally present, it turns out, matters more than being mentally happy. 6. Your brain decides before you do. Think about the last time someone asked you what you wanted for dinner. There's that pause, that moment where it feels like you're searching for the answer. But research suggests your brain already knew. It had made the call a few seconds before your mouth opened. What felt like deciding was closer to discovering. You weren't choosing in that moment. You were just catching up to what your brain had already concluded. The decision came first. The awareness came second. 7. Smiling can actually change how you feel. Not just signal how you feel, change it. This is called the facial feedback hypothesis, and the basic idea is that your brain reads signals from your face to help figure out what you're feeling. If your face is doing something that looks like happiness, your brain takes that as a data point. The effect isn't huge. It won't fix a bad day. But in controlled experiments, people holding a pen between their teeth, which forces a smile-like expression without them knowing, rated cartoons as funnier than people who held the pen with their lips. Your face is talking to your brain constantly. It's worth knowing that. 8. The more choices you have, the less satisfied you are. Psychologist Barry Schwartz called this the paradox of choice. The idea is simple. More options should mean more chance of finding something perfect. But in practice, more options mean more comparison, more doubt, and more regret about the roads you didn't take. Columbia researchers tested this with students picking a university course. Students given a small selection of courses were consistently more satisfied with their choice than students given a much larger list, even when the larger list included objectively better courses. Too much choice doesn't free us. It quietly paralyzes us. 9. You can feel genuine emotion for people who don't exist. The brain processes fictional characters through the same social circuits it uses for real people. When you feel sad about a character's death, that grief is neurologically similar to real grief. When you feel anxious about what's going to happen to someone in a story, your nervous system responds as if the stakes are actual. This is why stories have always mattered. It's not sentiment. What you feel, the loss, the sadness, the anxiety, the joy, is real. Your brain isn't pretending. It's fully in it. 10. Yes, you can tell when someone is staring at you, even when you can't see them. Most people have felt it. That slightly uncomfortable awareness that someone is looking at you before you've actually checked. And the strange thing is, research suggests this isn't just paranoia. Studies show people perform significantly above chance when asked to guess whether they're being watched, even when the watcher is behind them or out of view. The leading explanation isn't supernatural. It's that your brain is constantly processing tiny cues, micro-movements, sounds, shifts in the environment, below the level of conscious awareness. It picks something up, and what you experience is that quiet, inexplicable certainty. You just know. You don't know how you know, but you're usually right. So, here's what all of this adds up to. Your brain is not just processing the world, it's constructing it, filling in gaps, rewriting the past, making calls before you do. It's less like a camera and more like a very confident editor, which means the most interesting thing you'll ever try to figure out is yourself.